Nice to see everyone. Thank you for joining us. And we are 12:31. We're ready to go. And Darlene, I see you there. Quick introduction, Darlene Dunn works with Vivage Beacon, and she is our PCC expert right at the very top of the ladder. She can do it all. Karen, she is the one that just gave us permission for people like you and I to have the QI information. And I am going to call you and talk to you about how to do that, because I learned that just this week, and anybody else. But without any further hesitation, this is really, Darlene, going to walk us through. If you are sitting at your computer, open PCC so that you can be looking at this if you can. So you can do this stuff while she's talking about it, so you don't have to remember it all. And it is really cool. So with that said, Darlene, it is all yours.
Okay. Thank you for that introduction, Dr. Gom. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oops. Could the host please enable participant sharing?
You should be good to go now, Darlene.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I am. Thank you. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Please note that I am in a test environment. So this is not like for reals. So when you guys log in, I'm logged in here in the test environment as a physician. The nurse practitioner, if you're not already seeing the same view, you will when I get off this call, because I think I got interrupted when I was updating yours. But you go over the clinical and you're going to click on dashboard. This dashboard gives you a really quick look at, let me get this minimized here. Gives you a really quick look at activities that have happened. So if you want to know who came in and out at your building, you have an ADT function here, and you can go all the way up to the last 7 days. So you can see ins and outs, you can see room changes, who went to the hospital, all those kinds of things, okay? At an absolute glance, this little symbol over here means it's real time. So as soon as they make the census change, it updates this pane inside your dashboard. The next pane in the dashboard is psychotropic medications that have been ordered in the last 7, 14, or 30 days. And again, this is helpful for you as a provider, so you can see if any new psychotropics were ordered. And what's nice here is it allows you to see if there was an end date put on PRN psychotropics for the 14 days. So at a very quick glance, you can see if maybe something has to be updated, fixed, that sort of thing. And then you do have access to a report just by clicking the reports icon here. And this will allow you to go put in your report filter and print your report out without having to navigate directly into that reports module. Then you also have the same thing as you did with psychotropic medications, you have with your antibiotics. So the same thing here. And then you have, this one is really helpful. This is undocumented PRN orders greater than 30 days. So this lets you see, these are PRN orders that may have been ordered and they've not been documented on, and here's the last documented date. This one's never been documented. This one, the last time they gave it or used it was September 9th. And so it can help you make your clinical decisions of whether or not to continue with the PRN orders. The next two allow you to see if there's been unreviewed radiology or laboratory results. You'll see things here in facilities that are integrated with lab and radiology. And then when you do this, you're able to go in to your lab and radiology portal, which I'll show you here in a minute, to do that review right there. But this lets you know. The lab also lets you know at a glance there is at least one result that is flagged abnormal. And on this sample here, there's at least one result that is flagged critical. So it allows you, if you have a lot to go through, it allows you to very quickly see, you know what, I probably want to look at this one that has a critical value. I want to look at this one first. Then it'll allow you to see if a nurse has designated a note as high priority. And you can simply click this blue view and the note itself will pop up right here for you to read. So you don't have to navigate off of your dashboard to see that information. Here allows you to see any orders that are on hold for more than 30 days. We all know that maybe you put somebody on their antiplatelet on hold because of a procedure, but we're all busy, forgot to take that order off hold. This will remind you that, hey, you've got an order on hold. This one also allows, if an order was written to require reassessment after it's been done, like reassess the results for something, you can come in here and this is a reminder that you need to go in and do a reassessment. These show you if you've got, and these things are late because we're in a training type environment. So this isn't real time. But we will show here the doctor or the resident and when their next physician visit is scheduled. And so this is helpful for you to know when your next regulatory visit is scheduled. We do have it scheduled in the system to meet regulations, and the facilities HIM director updates when visits are made to keep that list current. It also shows you order reviews and when the resident's next order review is due to be signed. These are the electronic version of that big stack of monthly recap orders we used to get from the pharmacy. This is the electronic version here. And then it also lets you see any alerts, clinical or e-interact, that might have happened since your last visit or since you've last logged in. And so you see here, this resident here, oh, maybe I need to go take a look at her, see what's going on. And so this helps us capture those changes in conditions earlier. You have a daily summary if you do need a census. This is real time. And if you click this number right here, you see it gives the little finger. You click it, it automatically pulls up your census that you can print out for the building. And so it's just a one click and you have your census. Now here's where orders pending signature is really important. We know that regulatory wise, verbal orders, telephone orders, they need to be signed within 14 days. And so this gives you a snapshot so you can see how many orders you need to sign and what the oldest order date is. And then you can go in. Now, I don't have the signing because I'm not fully set up as a doctor in my training database, but you could click here and it will take you right to the orders to be signed. I'm going to show you how to sign, give you a recap of that. I have a sample training database video that we did. And then the other things, or if you want to see here how often your PRNs are being given, this can be helpful if somebody is using a PRN, like here. Let's just say this was a pain medicine here instead of a throat lozenge. If you saw that in the last 7 days, they took this medicine 23 times, then you might want to evaluate, do I need to schedule the pain medicine instead of having it PRN? And to help you make your decision on scheduling, when you click on this, I'm going to use the Tylenol here, you can see the date and time it was administered. And so that can help you say, you know what, most of these are late morning, early afternoon, and middle of the night. So maybe I want to do BID at noon and midnight to see if that can help control the pain a little bit better. Okay. The other thing that you have access to inside your clinical dashboard is under reports. If you click on this and you scroll down to the day shift, oops, and if you click off of it, unfortunately, you have to go back up. But you can come down here to the 24-hour shift report. And when you click on that, it gives you an automatic, you get to see the 24-hour report. So you can find your residents that are yours and see if there were any notes written on them in the last 24 hours. And so if this is your resident here, then you can see these were the progress notes written and the medication administration notes for the last 24 hours. Okay.
Can you show where you found that again?
Yes. Right here, when you go to your clinical dashboard, it's under reports right here.
Okay.
And so you can, you click on that and you come down and you can even limit that. You can pick this is your, like if at the top of your dashboard, you put your doctor name, you're going to see things that are related only to you. So then you don't have to wade through, say if there's 7 providers in the facility, you'll only see your stuff of interest on your dashboard.
Yep.
And then when you scroll to the bottom, you'll see 24-hour report, or you can do 72, and all you do is click on it.
Got it. Thank you.
And then it comes up. You're welcome. And then here is where your lab and radiology results are. And so you would click on this and you'd be able to see these are the unreviewed labs, and you would click on actions, view your results, then you can mark as reviewed. If you wanted to, you could write a progress note right into the chart and it would be tied directly to this lab result. Okay. Then when you click on orders, it brings you into an orders portal. This is where you're going to see orders pending your signature and orders pending order reviews. When you click on orders pending signature, I'm going to click over by prescriber here. And I can see these, and then you would click view order and sign your orders. I am going to see if this works inside the screen. Do you guys see where a video is showing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to, this is from PointClickCare. They gave me access to be able to do a quick video on signing orders. And it's going to walk through with a fully set up provider that has the username linked to the MPI number. In my training database, I don't have a fake MPI number to be able to link it to make it work. So this is how I can show you how to sign your orders. So any questions on signing orders?
Darlene, Dr. Annenberg here.
Mhm.
As a medical director, in the Vivage implementation of PCC, we could sign orders for providers that perhaps either had said they wouldn't sign because the order was incorrectly assigned to them, or they were no longer attending to physicians in the system, or they had moved out of state. So in the current implementation of Vivage Beacon, the option as a medical director to sign orders has now disappeared. So can you tell us, is there a hope that that might reappear?
Yes, I would just, I'm working on, I have the list actually of all the medical directors. And with that, I have to request PointClickCare to re-enable that function over on this side. We have re-enabled it for some that have already requested, but Dr. Gom put together a nice list of all the current medical directors, so I can send that request up, and there is hope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see something in the chat. So Kurt, you should, I'll have to check your access, because the setup is based on your mapped position. So
Well, Hey, this is Kurt. Just to make that short, I'm not at any Vivage facilities, so basically, so I should contact somebody for within my own facilities to set up the dashboard to have the features that you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good
Okay.
luck, Kurt. This is a cafeteria, and you get to pay for everything you do to PCC. So a lot of the things that we do with PCC, you're not going to get outside of Vivage Beacon. And there may be things that other people do that we don't.
Yeah.
But it's not just automatic that everybody has somebody like Darlene.
No, they don't, but the dashboard is standard. So all facilities have this. It's part of the core subscription, but it is dependent on mapping. So here you're mapped. My test person is mapped to physician. I built the dashboard to map to this position. Like I said, I do have to double check my NPPA dashboard. But it'll be the exact same as the physician. So if you have somebody at your facility, Dr. Weaver, that has setup ability, they can, and they know what they're doing, they can easily set it up. Any other questions? I do want to show you one thing that I find helpful. When I'm helping a facility and I'm trying to find an order to help them, or want to double check something, I click the top of the screen and it will alphabetize my orders. So if I'm trying to see if an order was written correctly or how was it written, any one of these headings you can click on and you can sort. And so it's kind of helpful depending on what you want to do. And then how many of you have ever used this function? Have you seen the word dash inside your resident chart? Again, this is set up based on access. And this is an absolute synopsis of what's happened in the residence chart. So you can see current diet order, most recent vitals, their MDS scores, any of the interviews that they may have done, any high priority progress notes, their advanced directive, and you get the vital sign grid, and it's real time. So you can see if things have gone up and down, any alerts, all progress notes in the last 30 days. So you don't have to go hunting for them. their diagnoses, census summary.
And Darlene, I'll just throw in that when you go to the choices up there, views right now where it says just Maine, if you click on that, at least on mine, there's an option where you can customize this. And so I've customized one, I named it after myself. So I just pick up MDS scores, diagnoses, new meds. I leave out a bunch of the things that I don't ever use.
Yeah.
So you
And
can
Dr. Dom, I can
create
get with
your-
you because we are removing the edit ability
Oh,
because for education, we want consistency and standardization.
okay.
But the view that you have, I can use that same view because it's what you, the provider, wants. The providers are really the only one that uses this dashboard inside the resident chart.
Okay.
And so we can customize it to what the providers want. So any questions? Even on PCC that I may not have covered, if you have a question, we have a few more minutes if you'd like to ask. I'm willing to answer any of your burning PCC questions.
Question, Bob McCurry. When labs are done, are they going to auto-populate? Is that going to be up to the staff to populate them into PCC, depending on the external source where the lab is performed or what the lab is? And same with radiology reports.
It depends on if the facility is integrated with the laboratory. In most of our Colorado facilities, we are integrated with lab and radiology. So the labs will flow directly into that lab portal and they need to be reviewed. So once the labs are reviewed, they go right into that resident chart. Well, they're actually in that chart already. They're just not reviewed. So they do flow directly in. If you're not integrated, somebody needs to pull the labs and then manually upload them either into the miscellaneous tab or the lab and radiology results tab. And Brooke said, yeah, we just recently got Valley View integrated with labs.
Thank you.
So they are integrated now.
Hey, Darlene, it's Travis. I wanted to ask, are there ways to add our own medication templates for like PRN meds that we use often that we can kind of customize ourselves, or is that done, at a higher level?
It's for Vivage Beacon, it's done at a higher level. I add anything that we're going to use in setup. I set it up. So you're welcome to send me an email to ask to add the order template and I can add it and then it's there for you. We have over, we don't have an actual number because it doesn't number it for us, but I would venture to say we have close to 10,000 order templates right now. Ways to add providers to an order listing report for opioids. You can, there are filters. Let me share my screen again. That is an absolute excellent question. But I'm going to put my email here. If you are in the Beacon environment, I can help you with any setup options that you might want for orders. But let me show you the order listing report, because that's an excellent question. So when you go into the reports tab, if you haven't been in a report, you want to make sure you click on all and you can start typing order listing. Now, when I'm in the order listing report, I want to remove the order date range unless I'm looking for an order that was written in that range. Instead, I want to keep order status for active, and I can look for the ordered by. The doctors that are listed here are the doctors that are currently credentialed or have been credentialed and set up in the past. If their name is not here, they shouldn't be ordering anything in the building. Because the doctors have to be, you have to have a medical professional profile. So, Samantha, if you want to look and see any meds that Dr. Baum wrote for, and you want to see opioids, you come down to the class and you select and you find the opioids. This list is hard to read.
It's in the middle column. It's called analgesics opioids. It's up higher.
Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you. There we go. And then you just click update. And now when you run, all of Dr. Baum's opioid orders will show up.
Awesome.
And so-
Is there a way to select all? Sorry.
Yeah, you just don't filter.
And then will it pop up when you run that report? It doesn't necessarily list who ordered it by. That's where I was questioning.
Oh, yeah, you have to choose that. Give me a second. I clicked the wrong X and I cut myself out.
No worry.
When you're in this report has probably thousands of iterations in the filters. But if you've selected your class and you've updated, you come down here to what you want to see on your display report. So if you want to see the order category, you can see here created by, confirmed by, all of the different options for your orders. And so you just find the setting that you want.
Great. Thank you.
I would use the signed by because all providers have to sign their order, and that would give you who gave the order. The confirmed are usually the nurses.
Thank you. And it looks like Dr. Shepard asked if there's a plan to allow physicians to add, remove, or modify ICD-10 diagnoses in the med diagnosis list.
There is not. Our HIM directors manage the ICD-10 codes. But I would be interested in talking with you, Dr. Shepard, on the rationale for doing it. And then
Yeah,
that would be
it's just,
something to go to governance.
yeah, I mean, sometimes we just can be a little more accurate than the coders can sometimes, but I get there's a whole billing thing behind that and that there's a hierarchy there. So I understand that you have to be careful how you modify it, right?
Yeah, we do, but we can also set up, because you're absolutely correct. We only code what it has been documented. So if there's something that is not right or could be more specific, because everything is going to higher levels of specificity, we can come up with a system that will allow that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's, it'd take me 10 seconds to kind of curate the list, whereas it can take a while and a couple of emails to have medical records do it. I'm just trying to save people some work.
No, I understand. And that is definitely a topic that I will bring up at our governance committee to see how we may want to look at proceeding with that.
Okay.
And I'm just going to jump in and say, it is 1 o'clock. If anybody has to leave, feel free. If Darlene's not in a hurry and wants to spend another 5 minutes answering questions, that's fine too. But don't feel bad about signing off if you need to.
Yes, and I'm happy to stay on for another few minutes if anybody has any other questions.
Thanks a lot. It was great.
Well, you're very welcome. I appreciate it. I'm pretty passionate about using the software to its fullest.
I have one more question. It's Dave Shepard again. Do you guys use the risk management tab at all? I've got a couple other facilities that I have to go in there and sign orders actually in risk management.
We do use risk, but there's no regulation that states that the doctor has to sign it electronically. So we do not have it currently set up that way.
Okay, well, I'm fine with that.
One less thing for you to sign.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I also have another question. This is semi-old, or what we used to have in the past, but we could run an administration record or the MAR for everyone in the building, which was super helpful for psychotropic meetings. Is there a way to do that again, or are we limited to each unit?
Again, is in the filters. So which report were you running?
The administration record, specifically the MAR.
Yeah, you can run it for all.
So when I run it for the floor, it's the unit that gets limited. So it limits it per each
Oh.
unit. So when I can't run it for all.
Oh, gotcha. No, but there's actually a much better let me think on the reports. You're looking to see if they were given?
Yeah, so when we're in psychotropic meetings or whatever, we're bouncing between multiple patients, so we can see PRNs, we can see if patients have been refusing psychotropics. There's just a lot of information on there, and it's nice to have a whole building ready to go so I can, control find the patient and the information. Otherwise, it takes a second because I have to run a new report every time.
Yeah, no, the way and this is set up based on room listing reports. So we can't say, I can't set one up for all. But if you said that was available somewhere else, that's going to be in our back end config. And I would have to reach out to PCC and see if that's something that we're able to update.
Gotcha. Thank you.
One more question, Bob McCurry, pretty remedial question, but when my call group is on call for me, if they happen to be notified and they leave an order, does that get placed under my name? Say it's for lab work or it's to change a medication, et cetera, if they're not credentialed at our facility in town?
Correct.
Thank you.
This is Dave Shepard. I have one more question. Could I run a report for a specific drug across everyone in the facility?
Yep, that would be your order listing report.
Okay.
And you would remove this, keep it active, and then because we're not looking at a classification, you're looking at a specific. You would start with an order description and say maybe just type Lasix. And then that would run and it'll show you everybody that's on that medication.
Excellent. Thank you.
Dr. Shepard, be sure to do brand and generic because it all depends on how they enter the order.
Okay.
But if the order, if it's done via a template, and you're exactly right, Samantha, but if it's done via a template, both the brand and the generic are included in all the templates so that that's avoided.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? Any tutorials available for independent study? Depends on what you want, Dr. Leibel. I do have a SharePoint that I can share out PowerPoints for different areas of PCC. I have a basic navigation PowerPoint. So depending on the topic that you're looking for, I may already have. And if I don't have it and it's a need, I can create it. Anybody have any other questions? This is excellent. You guys have been very involved. I appreciate that.
If not, that's great. And Darlene, thank you so much. And
Well, you're very welcome.